up guys, Andy Forrest, Team Runner here, and welcome back to another video. Today we're talking all about the injury, how it happened and how long I think I might be out for. Let me give you a quick deeper dive into the injury, because obviously I mentioned it on the previous video. So before we get too far into this, let me give you a bit of a better understanding as to where I'm at. Lower back completely seized up on Saturday's long run, didn't even get half a mile in and the whole thing locked up. The last couple of days have been horrific with pain. I've been walking like an old man. I have not been able to sit down. And it was only yesterday afternoon where things started to loosen up enough where I could sit down like I am now for more than half an hour. So that's a positive. Things are getting a little bit better, but the isolated area that seems to be causing me a lot of issue is obviously lower back, but on the left hand side, just above the hip, but basically at the top of the hip, lower back. Getting shooting pains referring up and down the back, some into the legs, like that sciatic pain, but sometimes I'm not, and it depends on what I'm doing and what I have been doing. Over the last couple of days, I've been able to do some really light squats just to fire the glutes up, try and get them activated. When I'm doing that, everything seems to just take the edge off it, settle down a little bit. Lower back issues for me are always glutes not firing. Same with hamstrings. When my glutes aren't firing, either my hamstrings take over or my lower back takes over. My lower back's been taking the load of late. I haven't been activating and doing my usual warm-up routines. I've been getting home from hospital and going straight out. If you don't know the context of what I'm saying, please do check out the previous video. It will give you a bit more of an understanding as to what the last couple of weeks have been like. But being in the car for so long, sitting in chairs, plus sitting at work a lot, just so much driving, the back has completely compressed to a point where it got unsalvageable and it just completely went on Saturday morning. So what I'm hoping to find out today is that it is just kind of that issue, glutes, and I just need to continue to let things settle down, but we'll soon find out, we'll soon see. I get these back issues quite a fair bit. Usually if it's upper back, it's my neck that's caused the issue. If it's lower back, it's my glutes that have caused the issue. So yeah, we're about to find out what's going on. Hopefully, as I said, it won't be too serious, but I'll give you a bit of an overview when I'm done. There we go, back home now. That feels so much better. Still not quite right, but I'll go through all of that very, very shortly. I just want to say, before I dive into how and when I think I'm going to be able to return to running and kind of guidance that I've been given, just want to extend a massive, humongous thank you to each and every one of you who gave the last video a like, who left a comment, who sent me an email, who sent me a Facebook message, a Twitter message, Instagram DM. All of you, it was just overwhelming. I cried buckets at some of the comments and responses and private emails and everything I had. And you know what it made me feel? It just made me feel so grateful for actually making the video, because I know I'm not the only one out there suffering with these sorts of things. I know there's so many people that suffer with the loss of family members from cancer, or other diagnoses or other illnesses, because it's not just cancer that is horrific. There's plenty of other diseases out there that ravage through families, and I just want to say a massive thank you. It really means a lot. I did get rather upset, I'm not going to lie, but I feel for you, and I just want to say thank you for reaching out to me. I'm so grateful for putting the video out. So yeah, just want to extend a massive thanks. And of course, you're concerned about the injury at the end. That's what I want to dive into a little bit more today and give you a bit more feedback. So that session I just had was with Tony, as I said, TLS Sports Massage and Remedial Therapy. She is phenomenal, she's great, and she's loosened me up really, really nicely. I've got to say, I've got a lot more flexibility now than I had before I went there. That's the goal. But obviously she's worked on that area that was tight, and it still is quite sore, but it's going to take 2 or 3 days to really start to calm down, which is what I expected. And I went in there and I said to her, I think it's my glute med. I think it surrounds there, because that's the trigger point I have. And this is the joy of being a runner. I've learned my body a little bit more than I used to learn it, used to know. So I started to know, obviously when I did my back on Saturday, it was just an all-round across the back pain. But as the days progressed, I mean, I've got to say, I haven't been in this much pain with my back in a long time. I wasn't able to sit down for 2 days. The pain was intense. I couldn't sleep. It's been, I'm not going to lie, it's been horrific. But as I said, the pain gets, you find the epicenter after a few more days, because that referring pain starts to disappear, and it starts to, and I knew it was just over my left hip area, top of the glute, hip, lower back. And she said, yep, it's all in that glute med line, in and around that area, with obviously some of the surrounding muscles affected. So she loosened off my gastroc and my hamstring and my glute, and then into my lower back, and she worked up my spine. And she's, as always, giving me some breathing exercises, because with this sort of stuff, your diaphragm is so important to keep working, and also to flip your system from fight or flight into rest and digest. Because when you're in fight or flight mode, your brain is just sort of panicking and worried and scared that you're going to hurt yourself again, and you instantly go rigid and tense. So by doing the correct breathing and calming your system down, you go into that rest and digest mode, which is obviously takes the panic away from your brain and helps you recover better. So I've been doing a lot of that anyway leading up to it, because I knew she'd recommend that, and she recommended that I carry on doing that. So at the moment it's a case of she's worked my, as I said, glute med and that area, released a lot of it. I've got a lot more flexion. I can now lift my knees up. I can march without there being any restriction. The only thing that's still restrictive is I can't get full leg extension. I'm still hobbling a bit, but that will come back over the next few days. So in terms of coming back to running and when I think I'm going to be able to, I mean, she said to me 2 or 3 days for it to calm down. That's not 2 or 3 days until you can run. I mean, it might be, we'll see what happens over the next 2 or 3 days, but I'm thinking to myself, this could be a 5 to 7 day process. I was really hoping to see if I could get out on the weekend maybe, but I'm not going to push it. I'm not in a rush. I'm in good shape. A week off is just not going to hurt. I'll ease back into things in the first week when I come back in, and then just jump straight back into training if everything goes well. So I'm not going to rush this. I'd rather take a few days extra that I need to, and then have an easier gradual week by working into a workout by the end of that, whatever week that might be, and then roll straight back into training, by which point I might end up jumping into London training, because I might be like 2 or 1 week out from my goal 10k race. So I might have just lost that ability to really tune up to how I wanted to for that 10k race. Who knows, we'll see. But if everything goes well, then maybe I'll be able to get back to that 10k stuff sooner. Either way, there's no plans at the moment. That first week coming back, I'm just going to take it easy and moderate for the first 2 or 3 runs, and then if I feel good and feel strong again and everything's back to normal, I'll chuck a workout in there. And at that moment in time, I'll then decide if I'm pivoting and just going into a 16-week London plan or 15, or if I'm going to do a couple of last hard weeks for the 10k stuff. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. So that's the plan. That's when I think I'm going to be able to run again. I'm putting a time frame of it around 5 to 7 days. It could be more, it could be less, but to be honest with you, as I said, and as a lot of you guys will say to me, don't rush it. I'm not in a rush, so don't worry. I'm not going to rush this thing back. I'm going to make sure I'm perfectly okay, be able to do drills and strides in my garden and stuff before I even contemplate going out there and doing all these little tests that I normally like to do. So there we go. That's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the update on the injury and when I hope to return. And once again, a massive thanks to each and every one of you for your support on the last video. It's amazing, you guys are incredible, and I appreciate it so, so much. If you enjoyed today, please do give it a like, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel for weekly running content, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Until then.